Good afternoon and welcome to the instructional video for this Burstner Harmony Line TD690G. I'm going to walk you around the outside of the vehicle and then I'll go on to the inside. So starting on the driver's side, we're based on the Fiat 2.3 130 engine, just marks on there, the multi-jet. The mirrors manually fold in, but then will electrically operate on both top and bottom sides with the switches inside. We have an electric step and we have an awning fitted to the roof. I will send you a separate video of how to use the awning and that will display how that works. Behind that we've got the toilet cassette. To gain access you've got one key that's suited to all the locks. So if you just put your key in there and turn it and press that through, that will allow you to then remove it. Lift up there, we'll slide out the toilet cassette for you. So it will slide out. You've got a handle, you've got your wheels. All you do is unscrew the cap, turn it upside down, empty it out, and you'll see there's a little button at the back, this little orange circle. If you press that when you're emptying it, it will allow the air to escape and it will flow out of there a lot easier. When you're pushing it back in place, make sure it sits over that little cutout just there. You can only remove that when the blade valve is in the correct position, and I'll show you that later in the video. When you finish, close it up and lock it just there. Forward of the driver's side wheel, we have then an optional extra barbecue point, which has been fitted, so non-standard, just clips in just like so. And then we've got the rear opening locker doors. Again, one key, just turn it to click it, will open on the door stay and lock in place there. Inside here we've got the spare wheel, you've got a fire extinguisher. The toolkit supplied from Fiat is just in that black box. The awning winder pole. There's a table that the previous owners have got that's in that black bag there. We've got the eyelets that are high up and the ones that are low down for securing. Now the eyelets for high up aren't standard, something that's been added. It looks like a Fiamma part, but they are an option on this particular one. On the door itself you've got a couple of door contacts, the white contacts, and that's for the alarm. This vehicle has been fitted with an auto watch alarm. On the back panel you've got your reverse camera high up, so you can change the angle of this and your Burstner stop light. We've got accessibility on this side to the garage area. Carpets are just in the black bag here, and we've got some additional sockets that have been fitted. Main sockets just there. We've also got a light that you can see, so when you turn the 12 volt on the other side, there's a light just above the door so that you can see inside the garage area. And again, we've got the door contacts for the alarm just on there. Forward of that, we've got the fridge vents, so they're high up just there. We've got the gas locker area. Again, using that singular key, we'll open, retain open, and in here you can fit two bottles side by side. You've got the regulator, you've got the outlet for the gas barbecue point and the isolator, and your pigtail there. One thing to make sure is that you leave these little vents open for the gas to escape out of there. We'll take up to a maximum of two 11 kilo systems. Most people will tend to fit the 6 kilogram bottles. The sticker on the side here is for the wastewater drain. Now underneath, just here, you'll see there's a black pipe and a little lever, a metal lever at the side, which is here, and that lever there is for your wastewater drain. So put the key that we'll supply with you onto that and quarter turn it. It will come out the waste pipe, the grey waste pipe there. Turn it the opposite way and it will allow the wastewater tank to fill up. So that is your wastewater pipe tank. Previous owner at some point has had a refillable system, so if you wanted to add it, you have already got the port in the actual skirt there for the refillable system. We've got the Truma vent, so this is the vent for the hot water and heating system. Be careful, it does get warm, please don't hang anything on it. And then further of that, we've got the actual main locker area for all the services on it. Now you'll just see on there there's a red band. When the red band is locked, as it is at the minute with the cable plugged in, it is perfectly safe, but it is not completely secure from people gaining access into that area. To do that, you just need to put your key in, quarter turn it and push it in so it goes then flush. Once it's flush, it isn't accessible in there by anyone until you put the key in and turn it again, and you'll see the red little band appears. To gain access into there, you twist it and it will open up. The key that I mentioned for your water drain is just on there, and that is holding the spout for the fresh water tank. To fill up the fresh water tank, you'll remove that little cap just there. You will take off from the door the little holding point, and then you would put your hose pipe into it using the little cutout for it to sit into there. To fill up the fresh water, you'll need to turn this wheel clockwise, and you'll feel a click which will take it up to the 20 litres and then overflow it. Keep going, again, only use your fingers. So keep going until it's fully tight, and that will have filled the tank up to the 120 litres, and then will overflow out of there with the protector out of the vehicle. To empty it, twist it back the other way. Again, one click to 20 litres. Keep going, and that will empty the whole water system out of the tank here. It is a transparent tank, so you will see the level formulating and going up. So it's quite easy to see how much you've got in there, and you've got sensors inside the vehicle. To the right hand side of that, we've got the mains plug-in point. There's a little diagram to show you how that plugs in there, and a little cutout for it to go into just on the door. Down below, we've got a little yellow valve here, which is the toggle valve for the actual boiler system, the water lines. To fill the system up, you pull it down so it's horizontal there, and to empty it, you push it up so it is vertical. Next to that, we've got a frost protection valve, which is just here. There's 2 points to this. The first bit is a diamond on the top. So what you want to do first of all is turn that across the vehicle in this particular one. You'll see there's a little nipple that goes in there. The second point is the little blue button at the bottom, and that must be pressed in. Now if the diamond's turned and the button's not pressed in, the water will still leak, and it will leak out directly below. So make sure that they're both pressed in and turned, and to empty it, it will just turn there. There is a sticker just on that back wall just saying that at 6 degrees, or between 4 and 6 degrees, this will automatically dump out your water from the boiler. So just check that. And generally you would come to this side if you're on a hard standing pitch, and there would be water that's come out from either one of them points. The fresh water drain, the boiler frost protection valve, or the main water line drain. So they're the ones to check in this particular vehicle. Forward then of that, we've got the diesel filler point, which is just located there. No AdBlue on this particular model. It wasn't applicable until you got to the 2020 models. The passenger door, simply just pull the handrail and it opens. We've also got the bonnet release catch that can just be found here. And we've got the blinds, so if you pinch them together, pull them across, that blacks out the side windows. The front ones just pinch together, just like so, and we'll magnetise in the middle with the one on the other side, and gently pull it back in it and clip in place. The side ones, just gentle. It's almost like a little S shape, and it will go back in nice and easily. You've got some door pockets, electric window switch, and your opening handle just there. Under the panel here is where your engine battery is located. So that's under that panel there. Underneath this panel here, which you can just lift up by pulling it there, you will find all your main fuses. So this is what we call your E-box. So that's located underneath the passenger seat, just there. And that's where you'll need to check if a fuse goes on the particular vehicle on the Burstner side of it. Okay. Again, manually folding mirrors, and again these change and operate from the driver's side. Onto the front, just above the Burstner badge, is where you'll find your bonnet release catch. So you've got a little yellow lever here. Under here, the main items are from left to right: screen wash, oil, dipstick. Negative port is just here. Positive port is underneath that little cap there, and you'll use your key to gain access. Yeah. And then you've got your alarm here. That's your alarm switch, which is also geared to go off if the bonnet is opened. Closing it, just gently close it, just like so. So that's the outside of the vehicle done. Let's move on inside. So the habitation door will lock on a retainer just there. We've got a bin, we've got a blind, And we've got a fly screen fitted to it. The electric step there's a switch here which pulls it up, he's in, and down he's out. So nice and easy. We've got a carpet that's removable. We've also got then a couple of lights that will work without you turning the power on. So the first one here is the little awning light above. The second switch is the long strip light awning just here. And then the third switch is the welcome light above the door. They'll all work without putting on the mains power to the vehicle. The rest of the items, you'll need to come to the main control panel. And once we go to the main control panel, we'll see there's a little indicator here to tell us that we are plugged into mains, and we are currently plugged into mains. To get the main power to the vehicle, the 12 volt, we'll press that button. Now, any lights that you previously left on will automatically come on. Otherwise, you'll need to go then to the bank of switches to turn on the other lights around the actual vehicle itself. Yeah. Now, there's several different locations that will work, multiple ones. So some in the back will work the back bed, will work the top ones. You've got a switch there that will also do the same in here as well. So just be careful that several different ones work separate areas. So we've got the main power on and off, and that's for your 12 volts. That's going to operate anything inside, and again that will work the power sockets sort of around it. So these little lights here, which will turn on and off with a little rocker switch, if you twist them, you'll be able to remove them and either put more in the front or more in the back, depending on where you want them around the vehicle. The top button here will tell you what power is in the leisure battery. The bottom button will tell you what power is in the engine battery. And then we've got water. So once you put fresh water, you press and hold that, and this side will go up and tell you you've got water in your freshwater tank. The bottom one will tell you what water is in your freshwater valve. Wastewater valve. So bottom waste, top one fresh. And then the button at the side is your water pump. So you'll see it'll illuminate. The pump will only become active when you lift up the taps. So as soon as you lift up the tap, you'll hear the pump kick in. Press it down, the pump will turn off. So once you've done that and you put fresh water in and your boiler valve's changed, you'll need to turn the tap to the hot side. Again, on the top, they're clearly marked with red and blue. Turn it to the hot, turn the pump on, and let the water flow out of that tap. Now do it until you get a steady stream, and I would advise you to do it in the kitchen area and also in your bathroom area and the shower area. Pull it through so you've got a steady stream. All that is doing is pulling the air through the boiler and out and pushing all the air out so you get water. So once you've got a steady stream on all the taps, just turn that back down again, and that will allow the boiler settings to be chosen, which I'll show you in a minute. Got sink plugs in there, and on this particular vehicle we've got a little cover for the sink as well. Battery wise, you've got one leisure battery fitted. Obviously you've got provisions, as you can clearly see here, for a second battery, and we've got the solar regulator just located there. Couple of fuses, so if it's not working, couple of fuses additional to check there, and that's under that side facing seat just there. So you just put them cushions back down nice and neatly, and that then goes there. So next to the control panel, I'll just turn that off because we've got no water in there. You'll find the controls for the hot water and the heating systems. We've also got a little indicator to tell us that we're plugged into mains on there as well. So we've got a little button that will navigate us around the options. And bear with me 1 minute, I'm just going to shut this blind just to give us a bit of better view in there. There we go. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to turn it so it lands on the little motorhome. Press the button in the middle and it will either say off, here's hoping we have a warm summer, or you turn it round to the desired temperature you want. When you've decided which that is, press the button and it will flash until it reaches temperature. What I tend to do next is skip the water and go to the actual fuel source. So if I've got gas on, I'll select the gas. If I've got electric, I'll go to the electric. So I'm only on electric at the minute, and that's why I've gone straight to that. If you don't do it quick enough, then if you've not got your mains plug in or your gas on, it will then come up with a warning triangle at the bottom telling you that that option's not available. So the options in full are gas, mixture of 1 kilowatt electric and gas, 2 kilowatt electric, and you'll see that it's changing above the line, 2 kilowatt electric and gas, 1 kilowatt electric only, and 2 kilowatt electric. Why so many options? Well, obviously gas if you're not hooked up to mains, EL2 and EL1, more so probably in the summer, spring and early autumn. When you're hooked up to mains, that will be adequate for you. The mix options, generally when you get into the colder climates, so the winter period, some of the early sort of spring settings, you may require it. And what that is doing is giving you the maximum amount of power to get you up to temperature as quick as possible. So max 2 is your maximum option, using a mixture of gas and your 2 kilowatt electric. So if you're wanting to get up to temperature as hot as possible, both on your hot water and your heating, that is the option to choose. But for this one, I'm just going to select the 1 kilowatt on the electric just for demonstration purposes. So the next one along I would go to then is your fan speed. So we've got eco, which is a slow, we've got high, which is high, and then if you run and select that for 4 or 5 minutes, there will be a boost option. Now the boost option is only selectable on one option, either the fan or the water heater, which is this one here, which I've not selected. And that will take the power away from either or. So if you've got it on the water, it will do the water. If you've got it on the fan, it will do the fan. And that is how you will get it up as a sort of a short boost to get you up to temperature. So as you see it at the minute, we've got the temperature set on 24. We've got 1 kilowatt electric and we've got the fan on high. Now if it's really cold, the button I mentioned on the boiler will not go in that little circle at the bottom. You're best coming to the setup and running the heating for a bit so that it warms up that chamber and allows you to push that button in. Quite important to realise that you can run this system without water as long as you have that option for the water heater off. You will not damage the boiler. You will, however, damage the boiler if you turn that on and there is no water in there. And the options on the water heating is eco, which is approximately 40 degrees, hot is approximately 60 degrees, or the boost function, which will go up to 60 degrees, but get you up there as quick as possible, but at the detriment of the actual heating in the vehicle. Yeah, so quite a bit to get your head around, but please be assured that it's relatively easy in the scheme of things to work out once you've done it a few times. The other options at the bottom are to do with timer functions, the actual time, and you'll need to reprogram this every time you use it. Or you've got the setting options, which one thing on here is you press it, turn the wheel all the way to the end, is a reset option. Yeah, so one thing to bear in mind. Do have a reading manual, have a look at various videos online as well as this, it will help you. One little tip is before you're leaving the site, press and hold the button and it will turn it off. It tells you it's off. Do that before you unplug the mains or turn off the gas. And before you turn it on, make sure your mains plugs in and your gas is turned on. That's my little tip to you, because it will revert to less problems within the vehicle itself. Okay, below that we've got a TV bracket and we've got mains 12 volt. Now the 12 volt ones that the Burstners fit will need the Adapt It 5 plug, so you'll need to buy one of them additional. And we've got the aerial port just in there. Again, please remember aerials aren't standard. There is one on this, but aerials aren't standard. Around the vehicle we've got cupboard access. You can remove these panels if you want to take them out to make it bigger. We've got the sky roof light. All the windows and roof lights have fly screens and blinds, and they do open. So just make sure that you close this before you drive off. And this one stays out by twisting the little levers there. We've got a no drop down bed option on here, so you can see various ones. This hasn't got the bed in the front. It has got the table, so you can lift the table off or put it on. You just need to make sure that when it's on, then that little red button is down. We have got seat belts. The seat belts are just behind here. You can either pull them over or behind. And on the table itself, you've got this little pull down lever here. which will allow then the table to swing open or lock in place to give you extra storage capacity on there. Kitchen area, we've got drawers, so they just pinch to these drawers, so self-closing if you're on a flat site. And the top one is where your isolation valves, as you see it in this video now, they're all in the workable position. So if you're ever unsure, just revert back to this video to give you a little bit of guidance. On the entrance, you've got the flap for the underfloor, so a bit more storage for you just under there. There's one here and one further back, which you can utilise your storage of various items in there. In the kitchen area, we've got the 3 burner hobs, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and an igniter. Again, we've got this light, but we can just move it away. The blinds, again, just go up and down, and to open it, you just pull that through, and these ones just gently out and will hold out in place. Pull it back, so we go all the way to the top to pull it back to lock it in place, and they're the same throughout the vehicle itself. Underneath here, we've got your utensil drawer. We've got little coat hooks. We've got the grill, so there's a little light there in the oven. So you'll see that the grill is to the right. Push it in and turn it and it will ignite. The grill, please leave that open, ajar. Yeah, is the advice. And then on the oven, it goes the other way and you can regulate the temperature. Underneath that panel, you've got the main LCD box, and that's located here. So a couple of trip switches, and you have got the test button that's found on the above the left hand side switch. So if you're ever wondering if you've got mains, press that button in, and it should, if you're hooked up to mains, go down like that. If it doesn't, it means you've not got any power to the vehicle. So it could be the mains cable, it could be the post that you plugged into. If you have, it should be like that, and then you can flick that back up, because you know it's not that there is an issue. It may be an issue with the fuse or something else on the vehicle. Underneath the fridge, we've got a drawer. Now these just push in to secure in place before you're moving off. Above that, we've got an opening storage area, again using the same push fit. And then we've got the fridge and the freezer option. To turn it on, you press and hold that button and it will light up. To give you the options on here, so you will use the middle button to press and hold it and it will light up in the middle. So we've got a battery. This will only operate when you're on, the engine is running. So it will not work if the engine's not running. We've got gas, and when we click that, you should hear it clicking to try and ignite. The next option along is A for auto, so we will automatically search the strongest source for you. And the next option is the mains plug-in point. So if it was me here now, I would go to the automatic and then press that middle square button. The next option is the actual cooling that we want it to be. So if it's cold like it is now, you can turn it down a little bit, and because it doesn't need to cool as much. Or when in the summer, you might need to turn it up a little bit. When you've done that, select that, and it tells you what operation points you've selected. You'll also see that it lights up, and we've got the varying shelves in there and your freezer compartment at the top. Turning the unit off, just press and hold the black button. The lights will go off and it will be ready to close up for you. In here we've got another main socket, a couple of light switches. Pinch the handle, you've got your large storage pull-out drawer there. Press it back in and it locks in place. On this side we've got the push button. That opens up. We've got the sliding pole just there. We've got the light switch which just turns on and off there, and it's heated into here as well. So that's your main wardrobe area. While you're just in there, the steps, we've got opening top step there for your storage. The bottom one pulls together, so pulls out just like so. To push it back in, you just got to press that little lever down and at the same time push in. But when it is out, then you've got some more storage just there. Push it back in when you want to use your access to your storage. You might see two items here next to the single bed. So we've got two single beds as standard. You've got the infill cushion. So that sits in the gap here. And the ladders go on the end. And I'll just show you how that formulates now. That works like that. So the little plastic fittings just hook over. You can see there the frame of the sides. And then the ladders go on there if you want to make it into one big bed. The roof or the windows work the same way, and the roof vent works the same as the one in the previous one. So that has a blind, a fly screen, and to open these, you press the button in or the handle down. There's several different points for it to go into, or it's fully open. Yeah, and then when you're moving off, slide it back, lift it up, and that's ready to go. So make sure that you check them before you set off. Yeah. You've got a curtain that goes across, and with the press stud here, it will then screen off that back area and then into the bathroom area. We've got another push button here, which will give us access into this area, and in here we've got a mains point, so plug socket. We've also got the light switch, which is underneath. So it's often forgotten, but that's where that's located. The toilet slides. Now to operate the bathroom, you'll need it sliding all the way around for the shower cubicle. And right back at the beginning of the video, I mentioned to you about the toilet valve. Now this is the valve that is on the front here. So to be able to pull the toilet out, it must be pointing towards the front of the vehicle. Yeah. To use the toilet, you'll want to slide that back. That opens the valve inside there, just like so. So you see it opening and shutting, and that is to do with the valve location. To the back is open, to the front is closed. Yeah, the flush comes from the fresh water tank. So if you run out of fresh water, you'll not have any flushy toilets, and make sure there's water in that. And that's the blue button in the middle. The button to the left is the indicator to tell you it is filling up. So please heed this and empty the toilet. We've got here another push button, a little cutout. That's where your toilet roll goes. And to operate the swing room here, you press the little button in. That swings the whole room round. Just be careful with your shower hose just there. And then inside we've got another curtain which screens across. Uses the magnets on the door to retain that. Just like so. So large shower. Got points for your conditioner and bits there. This will move around so you can move it out of the way. Opening vent just up there to let the air breathe out the bathroom area. And then you'll clip it back in place and make sure that that is in situ before you drive off. Cab area. We've got the seats that spin around. We've also got the height adjusters, which are on the outside, the lumbar supports on the back. To move the seat forward and backwards, you've got this little lever here that lifts up and forward and backwards and then spins around. To move them, you pull the little handle towards you and then push the seat at the same time. It will only lock in place in the forward facing positions. I mentioned you've got the window switches and the mirror switches. So window at the bottom, mirror is the little round circular one just at the top there. We've got a leather steering wheel. We've got indicators and lights. The bottom one you've got off, speed, cruise control, speed limiter and your cancel. On this side we've got your screen wash, your windscreen wipers, screen wash and your trip counter just on the end. We've got the robotised gearbox. So that is the automatic version. We've got the isolator switch just here for the entertainment system. And this is the Pioneer system. Now on that as well, if you've not used the system for a little while, then you'll need to just put the actual power onto the unit on and off. Yeah, because it goes into a sleep mode. So if you forget, just give us a call, we'll point you in the right direction again. Cup holders, air conditioning, hazard lights, traction plus, hill descent and your lock button, USB point, jack point and a coin holder. Got the microphone for the Bluetooth, and then we've got the pull-up tablet or phone holder. Just leave it at the side, pull that down, and that opens that up. Gently close it, push it back in, and then gently place it just back in place there. So that's the cab area done. On leaving the vehicle, either for the day or for good, you press the power button off, turn on the lights that don't use the power, step out of the vehicle, put the step in, and then using your main Fiat key, lock it up. It will lock the habitation door as well. So that concludes my instructional video for this Burstner Lyseo TD690G. I hope you enjoy your adventures it takes you on. We look forward to your feedbacks and comments, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.